So in this video I want to showcase one of my materials that I've made. Not recently, I've made this I think a month ago or two. And well, just to start off, let's show you what the material looks like. It's car paint. I named this material layer paint because of this layer weight node right here. And it looks like this. It looks like a kind of car paint, which I took reference from this image, which is real. This is a real car paint that people might actually use. And this was just used as a reference image at the top left, and I used it to sample some colors. So obviously it looks very similar to the reference image, and just to show you the level of detail in this material, I think I will zoom in and show you just this section of the material. Let's have my denoiser actually work. So as you can tell, it has very fine details. It has different kinds of materials, it has different kinds of materials depending on its viewing angle. That's why I have the layer weight node. And it has a sheen layer with its own displacement map. I mean bump map, I technically used bump. And it has a base layer having also its own bump map. So let me just do this. So all in all, it makes a nice car paint material with 3 levels. So the way I did this was, I'll just show you. I have 3 sets of Voronoi materials. There's these two Voronoi, and these two, and the rest is used for bump and roughness. But just looking at the base color, like this, we have, I can actually switch over to Eevee to view this one. We have these bump mix colors that are fed into the green, and these that are fed into the pink, and in between them I have a blue one. These all have their own properties, settings, and scale. So these are mixed between, like I mentioned, by a Fresnel layer weight node. So this, all it does is it finds the viewing angle, and basically where the normal is pointing this way, it's 1. Where it's pointing at me, it's 0. Except it's different because my blend is not, I messed with the blend to get this result. It's actually supposed to be 0 and 1. Mine isn't. I then tossed this into a color ramp, which separated them into red, green, this is technically green when you look at the color data, and blue. And then once you separate them individually, so this is the red output, this is the green, and this is the blue, you can mix the color in using these as a factor. Basically all I'm saying is tell this to make this pink, use this as a factor to make this green, and use this as a factor to make it blue. And once I actually use them all together, makes this really nice, basically a gradient between this green, this blue, and this pink. And one of the really, really cool things about this material that I set it up to use a hue saturation value node, HSV, to change the colors at any point in time. So if I want this to actually go from green to like red, I could do something like this. There you go. And because it's a slider, it's not super exact like one of these RGB nodes. But I mean, you get the idea. I can get the same results as an RGB wheel using just these sliders. And this applies to all of the colors. So the pink can change to yellow, the this would be the blue, can change to green, or yeah, like I said, yellow, pinkish. And at the end of all of this color data, I have a master color is what I call it, which lets me shift through all of the colors at once, which is really, really nice. I've made a bunch of really cool screenshots of this material up close in many different colors. And that's one of the cool things about proceduralism, that we can just do stuff at any time. We can shift the color last minute. Really, really nice. And just to mention that the color is not all of the fun. A lot of it, the realism at least, comes from this bump map, which you'll see goes into the normal input and the clear coat normal input. So I'm simulating both at once, which is really powerful. Here is what my bump map looks like on the base layer. And here's what my bump map looks like on the sheen. Actually, it's not the sheen. That's different. I'm talking about the clear coat, clear coat bump. So they are different, and once they're added together, they make a really, really nice effect. So we can actually view this material without any colors. Actually, we'll just make it green. Let's see all of this nice detail. That comes mostly from these two normal maps. These two bump maps, sorry. I was looking at the normal. And on top of that, I have a really nice roughness setting. So this gets multiplied by the Fresnel. So it's actually rougher on the edges. Well, not exactly the edges. You guys know what a Fresnel node is. It's rougher on the normals pointing away and clearer when you're looking directly at it. That was just a stylistic choice. I don't think car paints actually work like that, but it's still nice. It gives a realistic result. So let's plug our color back into the base color. And one other thing I set up is that I can toss this onto any object. So let's do that. Let's toss it onto the Utah teapot, which I have that in my outliner right here. And it makes this really nice result, really clean looking. This background is just black, by the way. I set it to black. And yeah, I mean, this may look really complex, but it's not. It's just a bunch of sets of Voronoi and some just basic noise and a few settings. This took a long time to make because I had to tweak all of my my parameters over here really independently. All of them were a lot of work to get set up like this, and I really like the end result. It's nice. Again, this can be tossed on any object, so I'm just using these two objects as an example. And on top of that, it runs in Eevee. It does look kind of wonky in Eevee, I won't lie. It is not made for Eevee, but you still can, definitely. I think the normal map strength is a bit too rough for Eevee. So yeah, I think I'll just render it in cycles usually. And that's about it. I hope you gained some insight while watching this video and how you can change your materials or got a new idea for a new material you can make. And I hope you guys use the layer weight node because it's really powerful. I can imagine there's some really fun things you can do with it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.